What's going on, guys? Tom Costanza here, back with another YouTube video, posting videos every single Sunday morning. Today, in my opinion, we have a pretty easy one for you, and it's a great dessert for sports games, having people over. We actually eat it on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. It's basically a big family tradition of ours, so what better time to make it than right now? We call it sausage or pepperoni bread. It's basically just pepperoni and mozzarella folded over with dough, or sausage and mozzarella folded over with dough. A little bit of egg wash, throw it in the oven, slice it, ready to eat. Let's get right into the video. The way that my mom always used to do it was she used to buy store-bought pizza dough. This is the easiest way to do it, and I'll show you guys how to do it. No, I am not a fraud when it comes to making the pizza dough. I make my own dough, but for this, it's just a lot easier to buy your own dough. So we have two doughs from Whole Foods, not the sponsor of today's video. We're gonna open these up, throw them in a bowl with some olive oil, basically leave them covered in saran wrap for the next 2-3 hours until they come to room temperature and start to rise a little bit. So I'll show you that. Here you see me just opening up each dough package, olive oiling the bowl, and then what I did was I'm basically tucking the dough underneath itself where it creates some tension on the top, and then just plopping it into the bowl, putting some olive oil on top, and then covering it with saran wrap. You want to make sure it's fully sealed, so I'm tucking in the bottom, that way no air gets to it, and then just putting it on the stove, waiting for it to proof. Now for our sausage bread, we have to pre-cook the sausage, so we're using Italian sausage here. Pick this up from a overpriced grocery store. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to the stovetop. I'll show you how to process this properly, and then we're gonna fry some sausage. So let's go. So with the sausage, I typically don't use this sausage, but every sausage has a little bit of a film on the outside or skin on the outside of it. So you want to cut that skin, peel it off completely, and then basically just cut it or squeeze it into nice small little pieces. And once you have the small little pieces into the frying pan, you basically just want to cook them all the way through. Once they're browned on, a few different sides. Once cooked all the way through, I typically just put them into a bowl and let them cool until they're ready to be put onto the sausage bread. All right, so that part right there was the hardest part of making the sausage bread. Now we just have to wait for our dough to fully rise, and then we'll show you what to do. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours, and our dough has risen, I would say, a good bit. I'm getting kind of hungry, so it's risen enough. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a cooking sheet. We're gonna put some tin foil on the cooking sheet. Gonna put some olive oil on the tin foil. Take our dough, stretch it best we can without putting a hole in it. That right there is perfect. So we're gonna be using our sausage first. Basically just run it down the center. Doesn't really matter the order. Then we're gonna take our mozzarella. It's important here, the mozzarella that you buy is dried mozzarella. You don't wanna get the wet mozz, or else it's gonna be a watery mess. So we're just gonna cut them into little cubes and randomly place them anywhere. Best advice I could give, don't be shy. Full pack of mozz, rest of our sausage. Now, I'm gonna take one side, fold it over, take our other side, and also fold it over. Cinch our ends. We're also gonna take one egg, crack it in here. Give it a good whisk. Also wanna take your fork, give it a good stabbing. Don't murder it, just so it doesn't blow up. Okay, so now that we have our egg wash on, our holes stabbed in, we have our oven preheated to 425 degrees. We're going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes until it turns a golden brown, and then take it out, let it cool a little bit, and then it's ready for slicing. So let's get the sausage one in. See you in 20. All right, now we have about 10 minutes left on our sausage bread. We're gonna get started preparing our pepperoni bread. Oh yeah. Yeah, so basically when you're making pizza dough, you wanna do this exact thing, except do not use olive oil. All right, pretty good shape right there. Same thing as before, except now with pepperoni. You want to be generous with the pepperoni. Mozzarella and more pepperoni. And now we fold. Now fork stabbing. Okay, there's number 2, egg wash. Got about 5 minutes left in the oven. We'll let this sit. Once we take the sausage out, we'll swap it, and then we'll check in when both the sausage and the pepperoni bread are completely done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we officially have our pepperoni and sausage bread out of the oven. They are coming down to a cooler temperature where the mozzarella is not liquid magma. We're gonna cut into each of these, show you guys what it looks like, and we'll take a bite. What I typically like to do is cut these into like thirds or even fourths. And that's how I eat them. And you could freeze them for a pretty long period of time. And then the way that you heat them up, I put them in the microwave for about 2 minutes. And then I put them in the oven at about 350 for about maybe another 5 minutes or so just to crispen everything up. But let's cut into these, see what they look like, and get a taste test. So when serving them for a large party, these are normally the size of the slices that I cut them into. As you can see here, pretty small and thin, big enough to where you can just take a bite. It's perfect. We make these on Thanksgiving probably around 2 p.m. Once the football games get started on, this is kind of like our appetizer for Thanksgiving. I mean, we pretty much fill up on these, and then 2 hours later, it's time for macaroni and meatballs. That's the sausage. The sausage is really good. I've never actually used this sausage before. I normally get either the sweet Italian or the spicy Italian, but this is some random Italian sausage from an overpriced grocery store. This is what a pepperoni one looks like, and sliced pretty thin, about 1.5 inches. So good. I know this video is a few days after Thanksgiving, and if you're watching it well into the future, way after Thanksgiving, or before, depending on how you look at it, but let me know of a tradition that you guys and your family does on Thanksgiving that's maybe unique to all other families. We also do a cake eating contest that we actually did in high school football that we just brought over to our family, that we eat Entenmann's cake. Weird things that go on in the Costanza household, but let me know down in the comments a tradition that you guys do on Thanksgiving or any random holiday. That is all I have for you guys today. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Thank you so much. Peace.